Welcome back to Reality Fever. In honor of Mother's Day, we're counting down the most iconic moms of reality TV. From the loving to the outrageous to the scandalous, these are the reality TV moms we'll always remember. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel to get notified when our new videos come out. Number 10. Mama Jones, the queen of love and hip-hop we never deserved. We are talking about a woman who walked into our TV screens and never left our hearts. That's right, we're giving all the flowers to the one, the only Mama Jones. Nancy Jones, baby, Harlem's finest. If you don't know her name, you definitely know her energy. Nancy Mama Jones Jones is the mother of rapper Jim Jones, and she burst onto the scene in Season 1 of Love and Hip Hop New York, and honey, she did not come to play. She came to slay, to serve, and to remind everyone that the real star of the Jones family was always her. Born and raised in Manhattan, straight out of Harlem, this woman has been a fighter since day one. She's a mom of 7 kids, a businesswoman, a fashion designer, a community activist, and a youth advocate. Like, does she sleep? We need to know her schedule. Now look, we can't talk about Mama Jones without bringing up the iconic tension between her and Chrissy. Was it messy? Maybe. Was it entertaining television? Absolutely. And when she dropped her diss track, Psychotic, the culture has never recovered. A reality TV mom dropping bars? Only Mama Jones. But here's the thing, by the end of it all, they squashed it because real ones know how to move forward. That's growth. That's Harlem. That's Mama Jones. Number 9. Michelle Duggar. 19 kids, 1 woman, 0 chill. Most of us stress about planning dinner for 4 people. Michelle Duggar raised 19 kids in one house, so whether you love her or side-eye her, buckle up. Michelle grew up living a normal life in Arkansas, worked at a frozen yogurt shop as a teen, and met Jim Bob Duggar, her future husband, right there behind the counter. They married in 1984 when she was 17, decided to let God determine their family size, and, well, God had a lot of opinions. 19 kids. All names starting with J. TLC turned their life into 19 kids and counting, and people couldn't look away. Michelle floated through it all with an unnervingly soft voice, calm, collected, homeschooling a classroom's worth of her own children. Survival mode dressed up as Serenity. The show was canceled in 2015 after their oldest son, Josh, was exposed for SA with minors as a teenager, including some of his sisters. He was later convicted on federal charges in 2021 and sentenced to over 12 years in prison. Real questions came up about the culture these kids were raised in, and some of them have since spoken out. These days, Michelle is 59, keeps a low profile, and has more grandchildren than she has children. She still shows up for every birth, arriving early, staying late, doing night shifts so new parents can sleep. Devoted, complicated, and impossible to box in. You don't have to agree with her life, but we can't deny that she was an interesting mom to watch. Number 8. Teresa Giudice, why she's that girl and always has been. Okay, real talk. If you've been watching Real Housewives of New Jersey since the beginning, you already know. You know Teresa Giudice is not just a cast member. She is the show, the heartbeat, the table flipper, the icon. And today, we're celebrating her. This woman has been through it. Public drama, family fallout, all of it playing out on national TV. And she kept showing up. For her daughters, for herself, every single time. You don't have to agree with every choice she's made, but watching Teresa rebuild herself from scratch and not respecting that energy, that's just not something I'm capable of. She got remarried, she's traveling, she's got the cookbook, the skincare line, the whole empire. She built something real out of her own name and her own story, and nobody handed it to her. That's not a villain arc, that's a comeback arc. Teresa Giudice is loud, emotional, and will not shrink herself to make you comfortable. And honestly, that's exactly why we love her. There's only one Teresa, and there will only ever be one. Number 7, Dina Lohan. She deserved more credit. I said what I said. Okay, I have to get this off my chest. Dina Lohan is one of the most underrated reality TV moms of that whole era, and the way people treated her on Living Lohan was honestly a little unfair. Let me make my case. The criticism of Dina always felt a little too easy. She was a single mom navigating an industry that's brutal even for people with every advantage, and she did it while the whole world was watching and already rooting against her. She kept showing up anyway. That's not something to mock, that's something to respect. Living Lohan was wild, no question, but Dina Lohan loved her family out loud, and she deserved way more grace than she got. Drop a comment if you agree, or even if you don't. I love this conversation. Number 6, Macy Bookout McKinney from Teen Mom. Underrated and real. If you don't know Macy's story, let me paint the picture. She was 16, living in Chattanooga, Tennessee, just a regular girl with big dreams, and then life threw her the ultimate curveball. She found out she was pregnant with her son Bentley, and everything changed. But here's the thing about Macy. She didn't fold, she showed up every single time. She's never tried to be perfect for the cameras. She's cried on screen, argued on screen, laughed until she couldn't breathe on screen. And that honesty is exactly why people have stuck with her for over 15 years. She went back to school, built a career, and became a fierce advocate for drunk driving awareness, turning real pain into real purpose. And her family? She and Taylor McKinney are genuinely one of the sweetest couples in the franchise. The way he shows up for Bentley says everything. Together, they've built this big, loud, beautiful blended family, and watching it actually work gets me every time. Macy Bookout McKinney is not just a reality TV personality. She's a mom who figured it out on the fly, in front of millions, with no instruction manual, and she did it with so much heart. Number 5, Kate Gosselin. What nobody gave her credit for. When you heard Kate Gosselin, you probably thought the haircut, the drama, John. But the full picture is way more interesting and way more human than what we were shown. John and Kate Plus 8 ran for 11 seasons. At its peak, 10 million people watched every week. But here's the thing about filming your whole life. You don't get a bad day in private. Every frustrated word, every snapped instruction Kate had got aired, edited, and judged.
She was probably, "I'm sorry, can you stop breathing so loud, honey?"
She became TV's go-to difficult woman, while the bar for John was considerably lower. Before the cameras, Kate was a pediatric nurse. After the show, she went right back to it. 12-hour shifts, no crew, no spotlight. Then, in 2025, she showed up on TikTok. No production team, just her packing lunches and cooking for her dogs. People were genuinely surprised. She was warm, funny, and normal. Fans started asking out loud if she'd been unfairly portrayed all along. Her sextuplets turned 21 last year. Those tiny babies from the show are full adults now. Kate has said she doesn't see them as much as she'd like, just left behind hoping they'll stay longer. Number 4, Sister Patterson. New York's wild mom. Y'all, we need to talk about one of reality TV's most unforgettable characters. The one, the only Sister Patterson. If you grew up watching VH1 in the 2000s, you already know. Sister Patterson, mama to Tiffany New York Pollard, burst onto our screens during Flavor of Love and absolutely refused to leave. And honestly, we didn't want her to. She came in with her cigarettes, her side eye, and her complete and total dedication to protecting her daughter at all costs. Love her or hate her, you could not ignore her. Here's the thing about Sister Patterson. Underneath all that drama was a woman who genuinely loved her child fiercely. Every eyebrow raise, every dramatic exit, every confrontation was rooted in one thing: Mama Bear energy. Sister Patterson became a cultural moment. She gave us some of the most quoted, most gifted, most talked about scenes in early reality TV history. She was theatrical, she was bold, and she was completely herself. Reality TV has never quite had another like her. So here's to Sister Patterson. Complicated, passionate, dramatic, and deeply human. A legend who reminded us that love sometimes looks loud. Number 3, Mama June, the messy mom. Okay, real talk. Mama June Shannon is one of those people reality TV was literally invented for. Love her, side-eye her, or both at the same time, you cannot look away. June Shannon hit our screens in 2012 on Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. Loud, coupon-clipping, butter-loving Georgia mom. Nobody thought she'd still be making headlines in 2026, yet here we are. She later dropped over 300 pounds, walked red carpets, wore gowns. The show literally renamed itself from not to hot because of it. Wild times. In December 2023, June lost her oldest daughter, Anna, Chickadee, to stage 4 cancer at just 29 years old. Then, June herself had a health scare, convinced she had ovarian cancer after finding cysts. Turns out it wasn't, but she says whatever she's dealing with now could immobilize her. She's also raising Anna's daughter, Caitlin, grief and new motherhood simultaneously. Heavy doesn't even cover it. Honey Boo Boo grew up, started college, moved to Colorado. Pumpkin got divorced after 6 years. Look, Mama June is messy. She's made bad choices, she's been through things most people couldn't survive, and she keeps showing up anyway. That's either inspiring or exhausting, depending on the day, and honestly, maybe it's both. Drop your thoughts below. Number 2, Kris Jenner, the woman behind the empire. Okay, real talk. Name one person who built an entire dynasty from scratch, managed 6 kids, and still somehow had time to become a cultural icon herself. I'll wait. Yeah, Kris Jenner, obviously. Kris Jenner didn't stumble into fame. She built it, brick by brick, camera deal by camera deal, with a glass of something fabulous in her hand the whole time. Here's what people forget. Kris didn't stumble into fame, she engineered it. 4 kids with Robert Kardashian, 2 more with Caitlyn Jenner, and somewhere in between all of that, she became the most powerful momager in Hollywood history. When KUWTTK launched in 2007, people laughed. 20 seasons later, nobody was laughing. Kim's Skims, Kylie's beauty empire, Kendall's modeling career. Kris had her fingerprints on all of it. She didn't just raise 6 kids, she launched 6 brands. And underneath all the glam, she shows up. At every premiere, every breakdown, every milestone. She's been open about her health scares, her faith, her fears. That takes guts when the whole world has an opinion about you. Love her or find her completely chaotic, both are valid, you cannot deny what this woman built. She bet everything on her family and won. That's not just business, that's bold, beautiful loyalty. Number 1, Sharon Osbourne, reality TV's first mom. Okay, let's talk about Sharon Osbourne, because honestly, she doesn't get nearly enough credit for being one of the most remarkable women in the history of rock and roll and television. And let's be real, just life in general. Ozfest? That was her brain. His comeback? That was her grit. For over 40 years, she was his manager, his wife, his absolute rock. But here's what people miss. Sharon isn't just Ozzy's other half. She's a force entirely her own. She walked into the world of TV and owned it. The X Factor, America's Got Talent, The Talk. She had opinions, she had zero filter, and she made it look effortless. You always knew exactly where you stood with Sharon, and honestly, how refreshing is that? She survived cancer twice. She rebuilt herself after public controversies. She lost the love of her life in July 2025, and she still showed up, still held her family together, still put on that black gown and walked into the room. There's something deeply moving about a woman who has taken every hit life has thrown at her and just kept going. Not quietly either, loudly. Sharon Osbourne is tough, she's tender, and she's one of a kind. And we are lucky she's still here, giving the world absolutely everything she's got. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more reality TV content. See you next time on Reality Fever.